Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Apocalypse World campaign, The Frozen Heights. Very happy to be back with our three returning players, and yeah, I think we're gonna just hop right back into the mess. It was another fairly decent day. I guess it is still the same day. Sam and Lark had decided to climb up a hill to get to this area called Hilltop, a place where Sam could find some items to be able to repair a vehicle that was down by Eisenwald's, Princey's place, so that they could take it. And it was a very interesting climb. There was a knife that fell out of a boot, there was avalanches, there was strange gunfire, and the barks of wolves, and you both found a way to get up here only to find that, yeah, stuff's going crazy. There are these big old wolves attacking a few individuals that, well, they all seem to be wearing the same dark furs as the members of Denise's gang. In fact, it's probably likely that Sam will recognize a few of these people. Dusk went to go talk to the Emperor, tell him to just sort this shit out, get his place under control. And while at first he was really thinking that Dusk was the reason for all the problems, she was able to show to him, no, I am not the enemy here. I can maybe not be an ally, but at least we can be focused on the same direction. You get control of your people. I will try to deal with whatever is causing this. And, well, it seems he's listened. He's called the place to order, forced the Legion to make sure all the people are calmed down, to stop the talk of the Winter Wraith, and more importantly, to keep an eye out for these Black Eyes. If they find any of them, they are to be taken down to the dungeons. Also, make sure that these folks from Portum, well, first they need to put out the fire, and then if they decide to continue to be assholes like they've been, you kill them. Just wipe them out. And they went to task. And finally we had Chris, our newcomer. Chris was deep within his home when he heard another beep, a ping. There was something strange, a being from the Maelstrom once again showing up on his radar, and it was concerning because it seemed like this blip was within his compound, this hidden base within the mountains, buried beneath many years of avalanche. So he went to search, and he found a group of manhole covers beneath it. Standard maintenance kind of tunnel, access throughout all of the wires and plumbing and tubes and electricity and all of those things that you would find beneath the base. But he found a section of it that had just been caved in. Something had eroded the cement of the tunnel and dropped it down into this underground stream, little cave system. He sees a few of these canisters, these barrels of blue liquid seeping into the stream, this serum that was once used to challenge people that had been touched by the Maelstrom, to experiment on them, to force them to open their minds, to do strange things to them. And so he decided to follow this stream, and it led to a lake within this large ice cavern. A lake that was surrounded by benches, seeming to be stacks of planks, wood, things that may have been here before. And there was a group of people standing beyond the lake, all of them deformed in some way, bulging eyes, having weird bumps growing out of them, their fingers being too long, their arms and legs misshapen. They were all huddled together. There was one that had his back towards Chris, seemed to be talking to them, praying with them, leading them in some way. So he stood there to observe. And that's where we fade in for today, Chris. You still find yourself at the back of this tunnel. You're looking down into a radiant blue lake, kind of glimmering off of the white and silver of the ice that surrounds you, the stone on the floor, and you see this group of people, men, women, children, all wearing white, deformed, strange in different ways. And there's this other man that pulls them all close, a group hug, as it were. And steps away, steps back onto this platform that's hanging over the edge of the lake a little bit, a stand, a stage, and looks out upon all of these people and begins to speak. My family, evil has come within our walls, threatened death for us all. We have no fear for death, do we? And the crowd just shakes their head no. That is right, for the mother has granted us her wisdom, her grace. Today, my children, today is the day that we go within her grasp. As I have done, as the twins before you, she will hold on to you. She will protect you in these dark, dark times. And through her wisdom, through her strength, we will survive any darkness that comes from beyond. For in our home, in our place, it is full of light. Cannot be harmed by things, by that entity. No, we can't. He takes a step back from the platform, steps into the water, wades in.
Before he steps into the water, Chris, knowing very well what is in that water, kind of panics a little bit, seeing what Princey is doing. Chris is going to step out, rifle raised at Princey, and just yell, "Not a step farther."
He turns, and you see a man with his hood down now. You hadn't seen it because you were looking at the back of his head shaved, but there is a third eye, and it stares at you with the other two. He immediately kind of just stands there trying to figure out what you are, but he turns. He hasn't taken a step further. Just looks, not aware that even that stream had anything. Like, obviously they haven't investigated that part of the tunnel. He kind of ushers his family to move back, like, away, and just stands there, kind of raises his hands. Hello there.
Chris kind of blinks hard, seeing the third eye, and just kind of mouthing, "What the fuck?" Because that was absolutely not something he was ready for. He probably takes a moment to compose himself. It's just like, "The hell are you doing in here?"
You see Princey lower his arms down. This is our home. This is where we live. I might ask you the same. What are you doing here? Are you... Did the castle send you as well?
Castle?
Kind of turns his head a little bit because he senses that what you say is true. Who are you?
Specialist Walker J. Chris. You?
Specialist, I'm Princey. The water's a bit cold. Would you mind if I step back on shore?
I recommend you do.
He does. Begins to just walk over again, kind of ushering his family to move back a little bit more. You can see that there's a few members. Like you've been in combat before, so you've probably already scoped out. There's maybe in this group of about 20, 30 people, a good 10 of them that you might consider to be potential dangers. Mostly men and maybe some teenagers that they look like they might have some very basic weaponry on them, some spears, daggers, that kind of stuff. Maybe not actively with them, but you just kind of peg them as a possible thing to look at.
Right. So, Chris, is there any way? Is there like a walkway? Can he like skirt around the edge of the cave? Is there a way he can get closer to this group without actually stepping into the water?
Yeah, I mean, you can basically, I'm not sure if you can see the map, but you can just kind of skirt around this edge here.
Oh, I was looking at Discord. I didn't even
Oh,
notice.
yeah, I moved you to a new map.
Wow. So many things.
I know.
So that little creek where it comes in.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, you have to you had to duck down to get through the entrance. Like, it wasn't a full walk through. There's an overhang that kind of is across this area.
Right.
Yeah, but you're used to tight spaces and all that. So, yeah, you can definitely kind of just follow over.
All right. Chris is gonna move out. He's still trying to keep his distance a little bit because obviously he has the advantage with the sniper rifle.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, even that, like, you feel even this close, you might be a bit too close for that.
Right.
But right now, you can tell it's like they are looking at this weapon. It does not appear they have any kind of guns. The only kind of weapons you might see are bows, what appear to be some spears, maybe with some kind of ice as the spearhead, and then basic knives, but you don't see any guns here. And Doom, I'm getting a little bit of, it sounds like beeping or humming or something. I'm not sure what it is. Does anybody else hear that?
Yeah, I've been hearing it for a while since C first joined.
Yeah, my mic sometimes freaks out.
Okay, no worries. I'm just gonna turn you down just a little bit.
Yeah, if it's too annoying, let me know.
Yep, no worries. No problem. Yeah, as you begin to approach, he kind of gets out of the water and steps. Again, his hands down, and he just pulls up his hood up over his eye. Maybe as a way of trying to... You're a stranger here, trying to hide that or just move it away in case it is a frightening thing. So, specialist then. How... It's not important. No. She has brought you here, hasn't she? He sees you in your strange fatigues, not looking like the people that were just here from the castle. No, you look strange. You've been sent
Who are
here.
you calling strange, Three Eyes?
No, he didn't. he wasn't saying that to you.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying as he looks to you.
Okay, yeah, because if he was calling Chris strange,
No.
there's no way he's not gonna
No.
that.
No, it's definitely, he's trying to get an idea of who, like, he's just trying to figure out what exactly you are, why you're here. Yeah. So he asked, you were sent here, weren't you?
I wasn't sent here. I found this place following the radar.
Right. Radar. A voice then told you to come here.
What? I don't know what you're on about. Chris kind of like motions with the barrel of his gun. They walk away. you come here, I have questions.
I can see Princey hesitate for a moment. You've come into this place after my family has already had to deal with one enemy. I would hope that we can resolve matters the same way. This would be an intrusion here. My family will go. I will stay. That will be fine. But do you mind lowering that weapon of yours so that we might all be a bit more at peace with this? I believe tensions are already too high.
Chris kind of eyeballs Princey for a bit, and then I don't know how to properly describe this motion, but is a kind of like tactical move where you, with the hands that holds the foregrip of the firearm, he kind of cradles the sniper rifle
Mm-hmm.
and then throws it over his back, and the sling catches.
Nice.
And then he immediately has his hand on his holster with his pistol.
Princey turns, kind of walks towards. There's an older woman there, grandmother-looking woman, and just kind of grabs her by the face. Don't worry, grandmother. Take the children. Take them somewhere safe. I can see there's something with this one. I fear no danger. It will be fine. The mother will protect me as she will protect you all. Go, pray to her. Spend some time. Go to the chapel. I will meet you all there soon. And they all begin to make their way out of the room. He turns, goes in, just sits down at the closest bench, kind of offering the seat next to him. There's no reason for us to have to stand. The lake is a thing of beauty. Perhaps you could come and sit.
Chris is going to approach. He'll probably get to, I don't know, maybe like 15 feet away before stopping. Still has his hand on his handgun. So Chris kind of stops because, like me, I'm not even sure where Chris would start with the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what is in this water?
Of course I do. It's Mother's blessing. This is sacred water here. It has brought you here as it has brought the blessing to all of us. As I said, she has sent you here, son. It is clear.
No one sent me. I came because I was investigating something, and I don't like what I have found. Mother's blessing. I don't know what kind of weird cult nonsense this is right here. But I'm telling you right now, the stuff in that water is not a blessing.
Weird cult nonsense. Is it strange to see a family embrace? Do you not have a family yourself, Specialist Walker J. Chris?
Chris kind of, his shoulders droop a little bit at that because that's hitting a bit home for him. No, not anymore.
Right, and with the news I received today, I may not have mine much longer as well. He reaches to the side of this pew, and there's a few little packets, or they look like just paper of some sort, and he pulls one out, and he begins to unfold it. It looks like a brochure of types, faded. You can see on the front there's some kind of logo, and even from this distance, like Chris, he's holding a packet of, think of any very nature focused Greenpeace, love the nature kind of group that you've ever seen. It's one of their packets, all about Mother Nature and all that kind of stuff. What packet? Whose packet is he holding? I think Chris would probably know, having been in this area.
Let's see. It's probably some like very naturey tourist group.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
looking at this, I could very much see this being explore our natural cave system. Blah blah blah. I'm blanking on a name. We will call this group the group was just called Beautiful Trails, which was meant to be like a really like on the nose marketing name. Just it felt like every single like kind of natural location they needed to make a tour out of, which they actually got a lot of scrutiny for that because they're like, you're bringing all these people into these places and ruining them.
Right. But it's also kind of funny because they would protest the military doing what they did. Like they were often on that one road that leads towards a secret base. These people are out there just protesting about how the military's killing everything. You're destroying nature. You know, you're bringing the environment down, all that stuff, while not realizing that that people just taking tours, leaving trash, are doing the same thing. Yeah. No, I think you recognize them just as those, you know, annoying hipster hippies that existed. But yeah, he holds this packet the same way you would hold a Bible. Like this is a religious artifact for him. And he opens it and he reads, just looks at the pictures, faded with time. These pictures of trees, grass, sunlight, flowers, beauty, the Mother Nature referenced throughout the entire thing. And there's so many things that we can learn from her.
Chris is a little bit like, oh boy, he's confused. He's almost annoyed at this because he's realizing kind of what situation he's in. Like he's realizing these people don't think like I do anymore. Chris just kind of nods and said, "You and me are more than a world apart at this point. I think I need to show you something. Show you what this blessing of yours really is." And Chris just kind of nods his head towards the where he came.
Mm-hmm. Princey puts the packet back in. You wish to lead me to her heart, the source of what this is. What is the purpose, Specialist Walker J. Chris? Why have you have
Chris
yet
is just
to
like,
tell me why you're here?
Just Chris.
Chris. You have not yet told me why you have intruded. I cannot tell yet if you are a danger to my family or not.
I came here because I believed there to be something dangerous, and unfortunately, I think I was right. I don't know about your... I don't know about your family. I don't know about this mother you keep speaking of. I honestly think you are incredibly unaware of what you have done to yourself.
I have done little to myself. I have accepted that this, and he references to his own body, this is a temporary vessel to carry me from this life unto her grasp. Do you reference this? And he removes his hood once more, pointing to his eye. This another one of her blessings. This is what's causing me so much. I can see the darkness that is surrounding my family. If you really felt there was danger here, you just missed it. This place, castle, they send their agents of dark. And as he stands, like, you realize that there's enough light in here just from the few torches and the way the water's reflecting that you're seeing the shadows of like the pews and all that kind of stuff. This man does not have a shadow. He's got a third eye. He doesn't have a shadow. He's kind of standing there talking about darkness a lot, but it doesn't seem that he has any. I can see that you were, you didn't just happen across here. You didn't come here to find danger. You came here to stop danger. Yes, the mother has sent you.
Enough about your damn mother, all right? Just, he kind of like takes a breath, realizing he's trying to be diplomatic, but a lot of this is irritating him. Just follow me, and I'll show you what's really happening here.
I think you might need to manipulate him.
All right.
I think Princey's smart enough not to go wandering into caves alone with a strange man with weapons.
A strange armed man. Fair enough. All right.
All right. If you plan to lead me to the source, I need to know that I'll be coming back. Would you be okay if I just brought my son to stay in the room? He doesn't have to come with. Just to stay in the room and make sure that... How much time do you think this would take?
Didn't take me all that long to walk here.
So, to stay here, to listen, if he hears any sounds of foul doing, to at least be aware, so that I can at least...
Fine.
All right.
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Gives a whistle through his fingers, and a younger boy comes through, probably about 15 years old, something like that. He's tall. You notice, like, he's unusually tall, and you probably recognize him from the group. And he was probably hunched down, but he's probably a good 6'6", skinny.
Oh boy.
But he just looks young, and his eyes, he doesn't have a third eye. It just, they look like they're being pressed from the back, like cue balls stuck in his head. It's got dreadlocks, just natty hair, kind of comes walking in. Son, I need you to stay here, watch over the lake. I'm going with this man. He has something to show me. Stay, listen, protect the family while I'm gone. I'll return soon. All right, Dad. And he begins to follow you towards the entrance. So,
Yeah, Chris kind of lingers on that because that's, despite how weird this all is to him, that was oddly familiar a little bit heartwarming, but
Right.
can't dwell on it too long.
Right. So as he begins to follow you towards the exit of the cage, we transition from the scene of just conversation and drips to a very loud ruckus of gunshots and these barks and cries of wolves as we are back at Hilltop. It's a fairly large tower, probably standing a good 40 or 50 feet up in the air. The stairs are all but gone from the tower itself. Appear to just have been crumbled over time. There's a series of containers, these metal-like tents that are set up across this southern edge of the road, and across the way you can peek through and you see that there's a few other tents that most of them just seem to have been collapsed from snowfall. That's not really what's drawing your attention now. No, what's drawing your attention is these three armed individuals, a man that is standing on the back of the truck with a shotgun just pumping and shooting away. Another individual, another man that's standing out there with an assault rifle, again, trying to shoot at these wolves, keeping that bay. And a woman that stands off in the distance by the tents. She just has a pistol, but you can see she has a rifle on her back. All three of them are engaged with these wolves. It looks like they've taken down one. And Sam, you recognize these individuals. This is Abondo, Pellet, and Kryn. They're kind of the scouting squad. The group that was always sent out to go and try to find targets, find weaknesses before the rest of the gang was out there. You may have had experiences with them. What was the last time that you had with these? They're always together. They're always this package deal of if you need something to be scouted, you send them out. What was the last time Sam dealt with them?
Say their names one last time.
So you have Abondo, Pellet, and Kryn.
Those fuckers. They were part of the party that helped beat Sam to death. Because not only are these guys a scouting party, they're some of Denise's most loyal fucking lapdogs. Them and Denise were the ones who left her out there, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna say this to Lark specifically. You're seeing those three and all this fighting ensue, but you feel like the most powerful form of bloodlust right now is not coming from the fight, it's coming from beside you.
I just imagine Lark kind of looking over at that, like, oh wow, that looks really dangerous. We should, oh, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Alright.
So this fight is just going on. Both Pellet and Kryn, they're the ones on the ground, and they're keeping away from the dogs. It's probably not the first time they've dealt with wolves like this. You know Abondo. He never leaves Regina. No, that truck is his wife. He's not gonna leave her. That is his pride and joy, his most protected thing in this whole world. He realizes his shotgun's not doing much from this distance, but he's not getting down from the bed of that cab. But for the moment, you two have not been spotted. Their focus is all on these wolves. So, Lark, Sam, what would you like to do?
Lark's gonna read a situation.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that sharp. Sweet. Ask your question.
Commercial. So, what is my best escape route?
Honestly, from here, from where you're at this distance, it's back down the mountain.
Oh,
wi-
not
with-
back down the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, at least now that you're up here, like you know where those climbing ropes are, and most of the snow seemed to have fallen from those gunshots, so avalanche may not be as dangerous. if anything, you definitely know like the ledges down below. I'm still not great making maps. I tried to show a bit of elevation, so like
Yeah, I can see it.
this goes down to
Yeah.
there.
Looks very good.
So like getting down to this ledge is probably a good 6 to 8 foot drop, but you're gonna have that much distance to be able to at least hide. But yeah, right now it's down the mountain because this is the side of a cliff, and going past them and down the road seems like a bad idea.
Okay. I don't think Lark is horribly keen on that idea just because the cliff was a horrible experience.
Right, but again, you do get a +1, so I'm gonna say the +1 is that you just know where all the climbing gear is, so going down, if you did decide to go that way, now that you've scaled the wall once, and I think Lark is very good on learning these paths, you just know the right way down where it puts you at the least amount of danger. Compared to going up the mountain the first time, you had to learn the mountain. Now that you've gone up it,
Right.
you've experienced the danger of it, you're now, okay, I can tame this beast. Those things over there, the men, the women, the wolves, can't tame them, but this mountain, sure, I got it.
All right. So it is very clear to Lark that Sam is about to go murder people.
I would assume Sam's already like pulled out one of your guns and is
Not quite yet.
okay.
First, Sam's gonna read a situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine we both
There's
have
some
very
ex-
different sets of questions.
Oh, very much so.
All right. Ask your question.
Alright, let's see. Which enemy is the most vulnerable?
Okay. I'm assuming at this moment Sam is ignoring all of the wolves.
Oh yeah, wolves do not
Right.
matter. She knows she can take those wolves in a fucking fist fight if it came down to
I
it.
mean, it's Kryn. You know Kryn, like she is she's all about spotting danger, but you know that up close she is just shit. You put her out at distance, she's pretty damn good with that rifle, and she's got really good eyesight. She's always the one that can kind of spot things coming, but you know just up close, Kryn's gonna go down easy. Especially right now, she just has her pistol out, her revolver's in the back. Again, she's still wearing, they all have fur suits that look very kind of Eskimo in appearance. That kind of the rounded hood with a bit of tuft of fur on the front, but it's all dark and stained. And you can tell, you remember that Kryn, she has that Kevlar vest underneath her chest. Denise's gang, they've hit cities. They've got decent gear. But yeah, you if you're going for an easy one, get her alone. She won't be too difficult to take down.
Nah, she's the last. But, upon recognizing this, Sam is gonna take off the bearskin and toss it at Lark. And all he's gonna hear is, "Find place, get down if you don't want to die."
I don't think Lark even needs to be told twice. Although, rather than going down the cliff, I think Lark is going to try to move up behind the ranger station without being seen.
He does have the snow cloak bear, by the way. Bear cloak.
Absolutely. I'm going to say that this is going to be doing something under fire. I'll give you a +1 advantage because of the snow cloak, and you're still obviously in snow.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah, as you begin to make your way through, you kind of have to stop short. It seems that Kryn right now, like just the way she's looking down, if you keep going this way, she's probably going to spot you. She's engaged with the wolf, so it's hard to tell if she's going to be able to succeed. But if you kind of drop down to the ground right now and just slowly crawl across, you're probably able to get by just because the way you're on the side of the cliff, it's kind of hard to tell the rocks and everything. So if you want to get there quick, she's probably going to notice you. If you want to crawl across the rest of the way, you'll probably be okay.
All right, recognizing that he might be spotted, Lark just drops and pulls the cloak over.
Yep. Doing like
Then
the
kinda realize-
Frodo and Sam thing. Just,
Yep.
yeah.
I think as he pulls it over, like in his head, he's like, "Oh, it's all grody."
Right. This smells awful. Yeah, no, it brings you to flashbacks of like trying to skin the thing. It's like, no, it's so cold. Why is the blood not frozen? Why is it still warm? Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, up here, luckily the winds are still back, but like the temperature is just colder because you're so much higher up. But you have a moment like before you cover up again, just to look up, and it looks like someone had tried to attach some rope to try to climb up these stairs, but the stairs broke free, and so the rope is still kind of hanging there, dangling off these broken stairs. And you don't see, like, the door hasn't been broken in, the glass is all broken, you could definitely see that, but it doesn't look like the door's been actually forced in, or that really any of these guys have been able to get up there yet.
All right, for now, Lark is going to just drop and try to cautiously make his way over there.
Sam?
Sam is going to slowly stalk to right here.
Are you able to move your token?
Yes. Sorry, I just want to be sure I was
Yeah.
given permission to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right here,
Um,
just stalking like a beast from her prey as she slowly pulls the assault rifle off her back.
Perfect. I'm probably gonna from that area where you are right now. You're pretty blocked off. It's gonna be as soon as you kind of step into, you might take danger of being spotted. But yeah, you just hear like this combat going out. They're all moving. The wolves are fighting them. They're kind of back and forth. Bondo here, he's just rotating again. You just hear as his shotguns go off, not really doing much. You'll hear the whelp of one of the dogs. And they're just kind of yelling at each other. Just get over there.
As soon as I hear that shotgun blast, I'm gonna sucker him with my assault rifle. Sucker punch him with the assault rifle.
Perfect. Yeah, you just hop in there and you take the shot. I honestly, he's not expecting
Full
it.
bone
So,
on fire.
oh, you just run up and hit him with your assault rifle.
Yeah, like just pop out as I hear the shotgun blast to try and mask my movements,
Right.
and then just because it's loud. There's no hiding this thing.
Right.
So I'm just
Yeah.
wanting to get him while he's distracted and try and blend it as much as I can with the sound before he's dead.
Let's see. So, when attacking them, they can't do yada yada yada. So, how much harm does your assault rifle do?
Well, let me check. I believe it is 5.
Whew.
Because it's normally 3. I am blood crazed, so +1, and not to be fucked with. Teach me as a small gang, so that's another +1. So that's 5 harm.
I think with not to be fucked with, that's when you're in. Let's see. So you haven't gotten into battle yet.
Okay, so
Basically,
I just have
this
blood
is going to
crazed,
be
so
the
it's 4.
initiation. Yeah, so it's still 4. So he takes it, and it knocks him out of the truck. You hear him land with a thud. He's not dead yet. He's hurt, but he's not dead. Immediately, fucking Pellet hears gunshots. He just turns away from the wolf and just trucks right up to the edge of the truck. He looks over, and he's got an assault rifle as well. The fuck is that? No shit. Pellet, get him. We gotta go. Sam, is that you?
And all they hear is the muffled laughter. It's the angel of death come knocking.
Lark, you see like something has changed. Pellet hears this gunshot and just a single shot with her rifle, boom, this wolf goes down. She now turns, hearing this commotion going towards the truck, and begins to run by. You have a moment to get up and move the rest way to the tower, and you just hear Sam call out, Angel of Death. Like, they're yelling at each other. You hear tension just pop off real quick.
Alright, Lark. I think Lark sees an opportunity here. Would I be able to maintain cover if I moved here by the
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, using that for cover as whichever of these raiders is moving towards the truck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it is still quite obvious that jumping out with a knife at this point would be a poor choice, but I'm debating on it because Lark is probably feeling a little bit invincible now that he has his healing hand.
Right. And it was pretty successful recently.
It's been successful multiple times.
Right.
The only question is, he might feel invincible to them, but how invincible does he feel next to Sam, or being in the line of sight of this?
I mean, I'm thinking... I think Lark is going to wait, because right now there are still, as far as he knows, 3 heavily armed individuals, and he is probably not quite ready to put his divine protection up against that. You know, a combined, what would that be, 7 harm?
At least.
Right.
Between their weapons. So Lark is going to wait, and he wants to get to an opportunity where maybe there's only 1 left, or he's going to be an opportunist and try to stab one of them, basically.
Right. So, Pellet has his gun up, raised towards you, Sam, ducked behind this truck. You see the wolf just go in and begin to drag Abondo away. Just grab him by the neck. Pellet, or Kryn, turns and tries to figure, like, doesn't know exactly which way to go, whether to save. Yeah, I think what she does is she notices him being dragged away and she runs towards him. But yeah, Sam, Pellet here, he's, you know him. This is the brute of the group. He's got those furs, those leathers on. You know, he's all about the fight. He's a hard motherfucker. You also know that he carries something on his back that you catch that glimmer, that shimmer, that lovely little tube that he has back there that he hasn't pulled out quite yet. But he's got you. He's just looking at you, and you can tell he's shaking. Like, he thinks he's seeing. It's not a ghost, like, but the last time he saw you, he recognizes that armor. There's no way that this being of red has come back.
Oh, I should also mention all my shots are armor piercing, just to throw that in there, in case that changes anything.
Oh. Yeah, no, that definitely does. Yeah, please give me the tags of all your weapons, too, when you're using them, just so that, at least till I get used to them. We haven't done a lot of combat yet.
Oh, yeah. You want me to DM you them, or should I just...
No, I have them here, but just when you're giving me the armor, just let me know if they're armor piercing or not. Because the only reason that Abondo would have... He's definitely dead, if that's the case.
Yeah, no,
he had
all my guns are armor piercing.
Yep. No, in that case, yeah, he's definitely dead. But the wolf is still dragging his body away. And Kryn seems interested in getting to that body. Pellet seems interested in keeping his gun trained on this thing that just appeared and shot his close friend, maybe even a brother in his mind.
Alright. And, he has the wrong gun out. because she's gonna start running straight towards him like a bat out of hell. Coming right here and just bust out the shotgun point blank.
Right. I mean, he's going to take shots as soon as you start running, so act under fire to get there.
Yep. That is plus hard due to my battle instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Would Lark be able to help by being distracting?
I mean, that's tough. I feel like if you came out here, you would be able to distract Kryn.
Right, but I'd have to expose
I guess
myself.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, what kind of distraction would you do?
I was thinking Lark would maybe like hold up the bear pelt so it looks like there's a bear coming out now, but I'm thinking he'd be too exposed if he did that. So he's just gonna stay in cover.
Right.
Alright, I'll just roll my hard then.
Sam's got this.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. You're there. Like, this seems. Let's see. Is this? Yeah, I think this is a. Is this a go aggro? It's been.
Oh, this is definitely go aggro.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm just checking the battle moves, just to see if it. Well, actually. Is this a seize by force? I think this is a seize by force. That's the question here. You're trying to seize his life. He pulled. I'm just reading through the notes. To defend someone else from attack, to fight your way free, to keep hold of something, to assault a secure. Yeah, you're definitely assaulting a secure position. So in that case, yeah, basically, even though you miss the initial barrage, as you pull the shotgun out, like he's still gonna probably at this point pull out his pistol, and you're still gonna exchange harm. So you're still roll plus hard. So to see something by force, first exchange harm, but first roll plus hard. So as you come through, like he drops the assault rifle into the bed of the truck, goes to pull his gun just as you have the shotgun like ready to blast in his face. So go ahead and roll plus hard here. Okay. So on a miss, you still get to choose one. So you'll still take harm, but the choices are you either inflict terrible harm, you suffer little harm, you take definite and undeniable control of it, or you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy.
See, I choose one. He has a puny ass pistol. Since I charged in, I have Rasputin. I think. Nah. I think there's only one thing I could do. It's either going to be inflict terrible harm or impress and dismay. Which one would you think would probably be?
I mean,
the
your
one in the
shotgun
situation?
does what?
5.
5 armor piercing? Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah,
he's dying anyway. So your choice is either to inflict little harm or to impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. I would say those would be your... Unless you're trying to seize the truck, in which case you can definitely take definite and undeniable control of the truck.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Because
So-
that girl is not getting away from me.
You don't run around the truck. You jump into the bed, and like he falls back with the assault rifle just falling into the bed of the truck. Tries to pull his pistol while he's falling onto his back. You just blast into him, and he pulls the trigger. So it's still it's 2 harm. I'm not sure if you have like a million armor.
4 armor.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
So you'll still make the harm roll, but -2
Alright.
on that as he just turns into a puddle on the ground. Just watermelon smashed pop. And you definitely have control of the truck.
So I can't do a minus on the input, so I just submit, then we subtract 2?
That sounds good. Oh,
4.
perfect.
Big miss.
You don't, nothing happens. It's a beautiful thing. Sam leaps into the bed, pop, pop. The bullet like hits you, but just folds upon itself and tinks into the back of the truck like no big deal. Kryn, just stops, allows the wolf to drag poor Abondo back away, and
The
just
one I want to frighten is her.
right, yeah. So you've taken control of it. She's like,
Yeah.
she sees you up there. She just holsters her gun and walks back a little bit.
As soon as she holsters her gun, Lark sees the opportunity.
Awesome.
Her full attention is on Sam right now.
Go aggro.
Lark is gonna. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going in for an attack. I mean, she probably catches you in there, and yeah, she just like puts her hands up, and you have full access. Do you just kill her right there? Like, she has her hands up, she's just looking at you. You see this woman, maybe 40 years old. She just looks unwashed. Her eyes are horribly bloodshot. She's got mangled hair down, and you can see like that bit of Kevlar, that weird mesh beneath her furs. She's panicked. Like, now there's another, and he's running at her with a knife. But there's something in his eyes.
Just as Lark's running, it just wants Sam to yell out, "You touch her, you die!"
So Lark is probably gonna stop as I'm getting the names screwed up. The surviving raider like turns
Kryn,
and
yeah.
Lark, Kryn, yeah, turns and Lark has his knife to her throat.
Yeah. She still has her hands up. Hey Sam. Long time no see.
Lark kind of like looks over at Sam. I wasn't aware you had friends, Sam.
It's been too long. She's gonna throw the assault rifle back onto her back and just slowly start walking forward with the shotgun. Cocking it open from the smoke from the last shot still billowing out, and start slowly loading in a new shell.
All right.
Slowly
I get it. I get you have every reason to want, but you know your sister, Sam. You know what?
Stop talking. You speak.
Lark just leads in. I recommend you stop talking.
You speak when I tell you to, bitch. And she reaches for the mask and starts slowly pulling it off. So she lets her full face reveal. Look at this face. Do you remember this face?
Yeah. Of course I remember. I never wanted to bring you out. It was your sister. She...
That's so cute. You think you can lie to my face. Gonna quickly snap the shotgun back into place and start slowly pointing it at her leg.
Lark is going to just look at him. Before you do whatever it is you wish to do, may I see if I can get anything out of this one?
Oh, this little rat will squeal oh so loudly. Won't you, dear?
Lark opens his brain.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll that weird.
Yeah, because Lark isn't interested in what she says. He's more interested in what he can find.
So what are you looking for as you open your mind?
He does not say this to Sam, but he is looking into this person for the connection to Sam.
Right.
And he's asking the entity what that connection is.
Lark, there's something very disconcerting here. Do you remember
I
what
think it would be one
happened
of many
when you opened your mind before you met the entity? When it was just kind of full of vague, bright lights, almost like you were wandering a desert not knowing what a desert was, just a place of heat and mirages, and it was all confusing and strange. You're back in that place. The entity, he is not here. He is just not here, but you're catching this movement off in this distance. A group of creatures very much like wolves, but smaller, more like hyena. They even laugh like hyena. Wait, those aren't just hyena. Those are men's faces on those dogs, and they're all laughing, and they're all biting this poor defenseless, it looks like one of their own, that's being held in place. Teeth of this woman's face dug into the neck. You can only see the side of the face being held into the sand. You see the same burnt marks of Sam, and you see a face holding hers that looks similar, a bit older, darker hair, much more evil eyes. And this thing holds Sam Hyena, to the hot desert sand, allowing her entire pack to just rip her apart.
Lark, a little bit disappointed that it wasn't the entity. He's a little bit solemn about this, but seeing this, he gives a nod of understanding. It is revenge. Something Sam seems to fuel herself on, something that Lark understands very well.
Mm-hmm.
Lark's going to turn from this grisly scene and walk into the desert, unsure of quite exactly where to go in this place. Perhaps he'll just wander until he returns. He'll keep looking. The entity found him once.
You
He
see,
can find the entity.
you see something in the distance, and Sam, I think you see this as well. Lark, his eyes are closed, and maybe that just by reaction, you kind of look towards the shadow real quick. You notice the shadow is still, but at some point, you notice him look off past the cliff, off to that zone, that dark zone, that glimmer in the mountains that had been calling to you. And just as his eyes, while closed, look at that place, his shadow jumps just quickly. And for a moment, out there far away, you can catch that darkness, that shadow, but it's just too far to reach. And you find yourself back awakened, again looking, staring across, and you catch yourself not looking at Sam, not looking behind Kryn. No, you are staring across to that dark zone.
Lark pulls the knife away from Kryn. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
He pulls the knife away from Kryn, sheathes it, puts it back into his robes. He just looks to Sam. Kind of an understanding smile on his face. Not like a cocky smile, but like a yeah, you and I are on the same page type look.
Right. As Lark begins to move away, we transition over to...
Before he moves away, though, he's going to grab Kryn by the back of the neck and push her towards the barrel of Sam's gun.
Right. Yeah, I think that's where we transition. Just as, without seeing what happens there, we hop over to the castle, and Dusk, Been a hectic day. You talked with the Emperor. You went and visited Shazah. You can now see that there's a bit of order returning to the castle. The Emperor and his men have gone about cleaning up the mess that the animals caused, making sure that all of there's an understanding that there will be no more talk about the Winter's Wraith, any darkness, any of that strange stuff. No one can talk about that anymore. And all of those punks from Portum have been working to douse the fire. It takes them a little while to do. Perhaps the immense amount of just oxygen, it's unsure what the source is, but the fire, it grew hot. But they're able to use snow and time to basically begin to douse it. And you notice that once it begins to come under control, the Emperor does go to the Night Sentinel. You might even overhear a conversation. Portum punks, they gotta sleep outside the walls from now on. They are still required to be here. They can come in for 3 meals throughout the day, but they are no longer welcome to stay within the walls. What does Dusk want to do while observing the castle come under order?
Okay, so the Emperor has things under controls. So she's probably going to have to find somewhere else where to sleep.
Right.
Is it daytime, right?
It is. It's getting a little bit later in the afternoon by this point. It's probably about 3 o'clock. You, if you had to guess, have about another 2 hours of daylight before it gets dark.
Okay. In that case, I think she's going to wait a bit until it starts getting a bit darker before actually going out and search for a new place to stay.
Right. Is there any... You told the Emperor that you're going to deal with this. Whatever's bringing this darkness, these black eyes here, you're going to deal with it. Dusk on the top of the towers, kind of sitting amongst the wind, just kind of thinking about things. Like, what is it that Dusk thinks is bringing this darkness here? You've encountered it for a while. You have your own personal thought. Like, what is the Dusk's feeling towards the entity? She
wants to have a talk with Lark about that because she knows he communicates with this entity frequently, so he's probably the best person to go to.
Right.
But other than that, if they start acting up again, she will try to just kick that thing out of the people it's possessing by whatever means necessary.
Right. Do you maybe take a moment to, you still have one more hold over Abraham. Do you take a moment to kind of just see how things are going, as you've done with your other puppet-stringed individuals?
I mean, she's thinking of Lark, so I guess that would be a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, you close your eyes, you focus for a moment on the right mind. Luckily, you don't have too many to scan through at the moment. And you come across Abraham. He's standing talking to Old Man Peter. You can see that the cart hasn't been fully filled again, but it definitely has some supplies, and it doesn't look very well strapped down. Kind of looks hurried. And they're having a heated conversation, after a little time, like you hear Abraham telling him, "Look, Peter, you cannot leave. Lark will return soon." And that's when you notice Lark, Sam, they're not with the group. The wagon's maybe about, I don't know, a quarter mile away from that strange cave where Princey's place was, kind of still down in the valley, still on the path, and chances are Abraham just ran to catch up to it. Yeah. Lark's not there.
Okay. So, as a player, I know what's happening, but I'm not sure if I mean, Dusk doesn't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you expect, you told Abraham to protect Lark no matter what.
Yeah. So it's strange that he is not with him.
Right. You might even have a moment of, okay, did he disobey me? Like, does he need to be punished for this? Do you maybe want to read a person, read a situation, see what's going on here?
I was going to ask if I should read the situation.
I mean, are you reading the situation, or are you trying to read Abraham to figure out what is he saying?
I mean, from what he's saying, she probably can make out if he knows where they've gone.
Right.
So probably a situation.
Perfect. Yeah, let's roll that sharp. Awesome.
Okay, let me just open the questions. Okay. So, I mean, the most direct question would be, does well, I guess the most direct question would be what happened, but I'm not sure how to fit that into the questions.
Let's see. Are you trying to figure out, like, what is it you're trying to figure out? Where is Lark? Or like, why are they running away? Basically a read of the entire situation.
Where Lark is, why didn't Abraham follow him? But I guess that would be read a person.
I think, again, from the conversation, you hear him say, like, he climbed up the mountain, he's going to Hilltop, he'll be back soon, he's with Sam. Like, you get that detail. You're probably not sure why Old Man Peter seems to be, like, wanting to leave the area ASAP, not wanting to wait for Lark. So that could be, like, what should I be on the lookout, or what enemy is the biggest threat?
Yeah, I guess I'll ask those two.
Perfect. So what should Dusk be on the lookout for when it comes to Lark? Reading, just looking over, not just Old Man Peter, his entire crew. It is clear that these people were told to go quickly, to leave this area. Like, they are not welcome anymore. They appear as outcasts, like having been forced out.
Okay.
And
so, I guess that gives her the impression that the meeting didn't go well.
Right, yeah. And which enemy is the biggest threat? Gunshots travel a pretty good distance. So Dusk may not know what it is, but yeah, I would think hearing gunshots come, and like you probably even see Abraham look towards the hill. you would assume that whatever's happening up on that hill, that might be the biggest danger to...
She's well acquainted with gunshots.
Right. And you hear
So-
quite a few of them. Like, they just... First, it's just a few bursts, and then it's like a whole barrage of bursts, and then it's eerily silent. Just quiet again.
Okay, that is very worrying, and Abraham should really be climbing that hill ASAP.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think she can communicate with Abraham. I actually have, since you mentioned that we could create custom moves, I've been thinking of something
Mm-hmm.
to that effect, but since I haven't leveled up yet, I'm not sure if I should really just spend a hold and like just whip him mentally to get moving up there.
You can still use your Whistling Winds.
Oh, I can.
Oh, absolutely. Especially on anyone you puppet string. The way I see it is you just need to have access to their mind. So normally it would require you getting, like, either knowing the person or anything like that. But all you're trying to do is use your mind to speak to others, and you're already puppet string, so in a way you already have that conversation. I would totally say this would be a Whistling Wind situation. It gives puppet strings a bit more so that you don't have to use them right away. Like, you can have someone to talk to or something like that.
Okay. I still have one question though.
You
I'm
do.
not sure if I should.
You do, yep.
I guess which is the best escape route. So if there's like a lot of trouble up there, they can get out quickly.
Right.
Or I mean, maybe way in, because he does have to climb the hill quickly.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm trying to think of how Dusk would be able to see that. Dusk has a strange thing when it comes to snow. So I think what Dusk would see is an area that seems to be more dangerous because it just has a lot more jagged rocks and all that. Appears to be more avalanche prone, all of that. It just looks that way, like it looks menacing, but that doesn't bother you. You know, you're not really affected by the cold. And so you kind of see it that, yeah, it is a bit more dangerous, but it also has more hand and footholds, and it's a shorter climb. So while it looks very dangerous, it's probably not that dangerous if you just go in there without any fear. Like, if you just are strong, you don't worry about, you know, falling, getting hurt, avalanches, those kind of things. You just face that mountain and tame it, then it's not that big a deal. Unfortunately, not
Okay.
many can see it that way. They see it like anyone else would, a big menacing cliff.
And that is how Abraham died.
It's for your own good.
Is it? Is it really?
Well, she tried.
Dusk thinks it's for my own good, and that's all that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
For everyone's good. Okay, so yeah, now I'll use Winter's Whistling Winds.
Perfect. Roll that weird.
Do I also get like what +1 from the sharp success?
Yeah, sure. I would say right now, like, just having read the situation, absolutely.
Okay,
Make
so
that a
then
10.
it succeeds.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go ahead, you add an additional puppet string, so I think that puts you back to 2. What is your message that you give to Abraham?
Protect Lark, like in a very mental shout. So like his ears are almost ringing, even though no one really screamed at him. It's all in his head, but yeah.
Yeah, Abraham reacts by grabbing his knife and pointing, like thrusting it towards Peter. If you fucking move, I will find you and I will fillet your flesh from your skin and make you fucking eat it, fat man. And he just begins to run towards the mountain. I'm assuming you kind of gave him that, hey, you should take this path.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. You see him just begin to run towards the mountain. I think as that scene kind of plays out, just to allow time to pass a little bit more, we transition back into the cave. Chris, you and Princey have been walking for a little while, maybe 5-10 minutes. It's been fairly quiet. Princey is doing... he's trying to soak it all in. He's rubbing his hands across the rocks. He's looking at just the different crevices. He's dipping his hand occasionally into the water when you're not looking, but you hear like the splish or the splash of water.
Every time there's a splash, Chris like looks back, like kind of angrily.
Right, and he kind of pretends he's not doing anything. But he just walks silently with you, just trying to observe.
Just a little bit further.
Just kind of nods. Again, not sure what it is you're going to go. And you eventually make a few turns, have to climb up a few drops, and you come to the resting point where there's a bit of sunlight. Not a ton, but just a bit of light coming down from the access tunnels. The various pips of light coming through the manhole covers, and obviously this large open area that has collapsed upon itself 10, 12 feet deep. And there resting in the caves, you can see that the stream goes further back, but a lot of the rubber has just fallen on top of it. So the water's kind of making its way through this rubble and then flowing over the barrels and flowing downstream. And there's those 4 barrels of the blue liquid. Princey does not know what this is. This strange place. He kind of looks around. Do we have to go up now?
Don't know if I want to take you that close to home yet. But you see those right there, and Chris points at the barrels. It isn't a damn heart. It's leftovers from some horrible nightmare from a long time ago. And you, and I'm assuming all those other mutants you had back there, they're all just bathing in it.
No one bathes in the mother's water. Few, other than myself, have entered it. Why is this a danger? What are those things? References towards the strange metal containers.
It's what they used to carry that blue shit in. Used to bring it to the facility, used to pump those freaks full of it, and so much happened.
You just see him. There's a deep, like, forced study of the words you're saying. You see the upper eye just kind of twitch back and forth, trying to understand what you're speaking of. You're referencing things that make no sense to him. Just kind of stands silent, looking at you, looking towards these containers, trying to make it right in his mind, but you see that struggle as if you're watching a 5-year-old look at arithmetic for the first time. he recognizes some things like they would recognize numbers, but the equation doesn't make sense. It's confusing. It's almost painful to look at.
Seeing that Princey is not quite getting it, Chris kind of moderately aggressively like grabs him by the shoulder and shakes Princey a bit, so like he is looking at Princey, although he's having a hard time looking away from that third eye. Chris just looks at him and says, "There was a time when the world wasn't like this. I'm sure you're aware."
The world is ever changing, always new snows covering, hiding things, warm days melting it all away, the landscapes falling off the mountains, causing things to be buried for much of time. Of course, the world has changed. It continues to change. It changes daily.
Well, I'm from before quite a few of those changes. I don't know if you'll be able to get your head around that either. But I'm telling you right now, this stuff from that time was used to do horrible things. I don't know what blessing you think it is now. It is a curse, one that I have vowed to cleanse, one that I've seen do horrible, horrible things.
What horrible things?
Chris kind of grabs his keychain and holds it up so that the child-sized glove is in front of Princey's face. A lot of horrible things.
Looks at the glove. I have lost children too, but the blessing of the mother has also saved. Without it, twins would have been dead a long time ago. I probably would have been dead a long time ago. What this may have been for you and where you come from, it is not the same for us.
I know of a pit full of corpses that disagree with you. You may reap some benefits from it now, some did. But in the end, it all turns the same.
You fear death, don't you? That is the danger.
For a very long time.
Because you assume that's the end of all things. We do not believe this. We know this not to be true. Have you never seen a tree lose all signs of life? The greens, the leaves, the pines, only to appear fully regrown the next warm season. Death is a transition, Chris. It is not an end of things. It is a passing, a changing of things. The mother, she has... He kind of stops.
At that, Lark, boy. Chris, like, shakes him. Enough about this damn mother business.
As you shake, or as you grab Princey, you notice something. He feels as if this was a man that did not have muscles, flesh, and bone within him, no, but full of air, as if he's a balloon, very fully filled, not all that noticeable. He just feels far too light for his size. There's more than what you see going on with this man.
Chris immediately pulls away, puts his hand back on his pistol. The hell is wrong with you? I feel like a goddamn piñata.
You are basing this off of my appearance. I have seen the members of the castle, how they looked at me while shrouded. I know that my appearance seems grisly, disturbing, and that the appearance of my family may as well. Outward appearance. There are many things that grow in this world that you would consider to be ugly. Take these mountains, these jagged, sharp things. At times, they can look horrid, disfigured. But when you take a moment to study them as a whole, see the immense power that they hold within them, just as the mother grasps us, they hold all of life within their valleys. You can see is not as just how things are from the appearance. Yes, I know. I get it. I understand. You come from a time where things are strange. You are comfortable calling people freaks. You're scared of death. You claim that this, referencing to the barrels, is the source of this death. You reference pits of bodies. You do not understand that the words you say, while I appreciate the conversation, it will not change what is coming to our doors. We have war coming to our home. We are not warriors. Hunters at most, and even that, most of my family have not left the cave their entire life. We cannot fight in a war. We will be completely destroyed. But if we allow ourselves to be baptized by the mother, we at least stand a chance. A chance to exist, maybe not in our vessels that we have today, but to still be a part of this world, a part of this ever-changing, ever-growing world. If you had a way to save, and he points to the glove, your child, regardless of how barbaric, dangerous you thought it would be, would you not take every chance, just a chance, to save them?
Chris kind of just stares at Princey for a moment, not entirely sure how to answer this. There's a mix of some of Princey's words kind of resonate with him. Others are very alien, and this whole idea of like baptizing to stand a chance. There was one thing in that little monologue that Chris understands very well, and that was war. So Chris kind of just remains quiet for a moment, and then he says, "So who is it that's bringing war to your people here? You said something about a castle?"
Do you... Yes, the Emperor. He is in charge of this entire area. I don't see how you could be here and not aware of him. A settlement to the south of here, he calls it a castle. It's a large stone building, strange circular tower-like structures.
Yeah, I understand what a castle is. Just
I am unsure why. He blames me for something that happened, a situation that I had no task in. But the Emperor, he kind of has a click, like you, fears things that are strange and unusual. And, well, as you can see, I am both of those things. So easy to blame a stranger, or perhaps he wants something that I have. What that is, I have no idea. Yes, he sent his emissary here to say they are bringing war. His emissary, this of darkness, bringing a true enemy within our walls. If you want to fight against something of danger, you must fight against that being.
I think Chris is gonna read a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's see. Because I definitely feel like this whole situation is strange enough to Chris where he's got to rely on some instincts a little bit. He's got to look beyond the words.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What is Princey really feeling?
He's feeling panic. He's not showing it through his words. Like, there is a great fear, not for himself, but for his family.
And that's probably something Chris has seen before. A strong person seeming
Right.
strong in their
Yeah,
words.
many generals and stuff that are giving orders before you're put into stasis, that know their families are still at home and they cannot tell their families to prepare. They just have to keep their hopes, their faith, whatever it is. Yeah.
And that's something that's very human to Chris. Chris removes his hand from his pistol, just kind of folds his arms and looks at Princey. I don't think you're a monster, but I have seen enough monsters where he kind of just takes a breath. I don't know how you haven't died, honestly, being exposed to this stuff, but
Princey,
would you be willing to let me show you what I've seen? Maybe we can, I don't know, reach some sort of understanding here.
I understand what it is you wish, but I must ask, you must allow me to care for my family first. I am not sure when the Emperor will send his troops. They may already be on their way. They may have been waiting. The emissary, he left not long ago with great anger towards me, of course, but I cannot continue to leave my family without my guidance. Let me deal with them, get my home under control. I can see that you have more to tell me. I know that we can reach an understanding, but I can't leave my family undefended.
And I can't let them walk into that water. I know you think that's your solution to this problem, but I'm telling you it's not. I've seen beings capable of horrible things, bestowing their power, corrupting others. I think that stuff, that blessing, as you call it, is how such things are born.
What do you have on the front of your armor? Do you have like a knife or anything like that?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Chris,
In that case,
he just has the military body armor, so there might be some like pouches and stuff where he has ammo and extra magazines.
Right.
But he does not have a
Princey,
weapon.
he looks at you, and you see disappointment behind his eyes. You having removed your hand from your gun, he goes for it.
All right. I'm gonna try to just kind of push him away. I don't know if this would be a hot roll or a cool roll.
I think that this is... Oh boy, what is this? Honestly, I think that this is just acting under fire to be able to stop him from getting it. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a cool, yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm so cool.
You grab his wrist.
I
as
was
it goes
watching the
for it.
third eye as it moved towards my gun.
Right. He sighs. Yeah.
Nice try. It's not gonna work though.
You assume too much. Specialist Walker J. Chris.
Chris is going to just kind of shove Princey and then pull out the pistol. Make sure that that's between them and there's some space, so Princey really has no room to do anything. I assume there's not really anywhere for him to go. We're just kind of in this narrow passage.
Yeah, no, he stands there for a moment. A bit of light coming down, shining back behind you, casting a bit of the reflective blue light on him, wearing these white robes. He moves his hands up to the top of his chest and begins to remove layers. He removes his cloak, begins to remove his inner jacket. He gets down to his long johns basically and pulls them up and over his head, and you can see this flesh, but you can also see through it. Faded, as if his skin has been stretched in front of you and with nothing inside. You see the stream going back. You see the very faint blue light that emanates from the cave back behind him. He stands there with his hands up. You might fire upon me as you will. Please do allow me to show you what the blessing the mother has given me actually is. And he begins to step towards your gun, his arms out wide.
Chris will take a step back. He's a little bit startled by this. This was certainly a turning the weird notch up a few dials.
Your boot kind of hits against one of the barrels. It hits a clang sound. You like readjust yourself real fast.
Chris just says, I don't want to have to shoot. I really don't.
If you believe that this blessing is a danger, would you not want to kill it then? Fire your gun, Specialist Chris. Fire it. End this danger. Just stop wasting my time.
Chris kind of looking to the gun, to Princey, to the gun, to Princey. What if I told you I knew how to augment this blessing of yours?
Okay. Trying to think about Princey's.
Talking about going to war, surely that'll benefit you.
I think Princey thinks he's perfect right now. I don't think. Yeah, You could definitely try to manipulate him. I could say totally go for that, but just the words themselves, I think Princey feels that this blessing that he's received is all that he needs.
Let's see how convincing Chris can be. Not very.
All right. Well, I think just with all of the weird, what happens is he's able to get distance on you to the point that he puts his chest up to the gun and you feel his cold hand just grip your hand. And he's just holding your hand to his chest. You feel his thumb resting on your forefinger. And he just looks you in the eyes. You have things that you wanted to show me, yet you are not willing to see things yourself. The world has changed. Your perspective should change as well. And he tries to force your finger. You can either let him do it or try to again act under fire to stop him.
I'm gonna act under fire.
Yep.
Because at this point, Chris is like, this is what he wants. Maybe whatever is influencing him wants. It can't be good.
Right.
All right.
You got strong
Thanks.
fingers. You've been typing and doing stuff.
Actually, Chris flicks his thumb up and hits the safety.
Perfect. He removes his hand, his chest still placed there. And again, like you see him and his head seems more solid, but it's still tough to tell. The eye is so distracting. The rest of his flesh, again, it's as if you're seeing through it. Like you can see veins on where his flesh actually is, not like inside of it. And it's not like he's fully opaque. It's just you're able to, like a very thin curtain. It's kind of look
Translucent.
yeah. And just stands there with his chest pressed against your gun. He moves away and he simply moves to put his hand over the barrel of the gun. I don't know how else to show you my blessing. The mother has already welcomed me within her grasp, granting me the strength I need. Using this vessel for what it is for now, and I have full trust that she will protect me from whatever you might have. But that is because I am one of the few of my family that have had that blessing bathed upon me. I need to get to my family and give them the same gifts. There is nothing you can show me that will protect them. Your weapons will not protect my family. There is nothing man-made.
You sure about that?
There is nothing man-made that will protect my family. Emperors will come and go. Humans will never change. The mother grants eternal life if you're willing to be reused, not attached to the vessel that you are a part of now, but longing for the vessel you are about to become, I am ready, Specialist Walker J. Chris, to welcome that new life.
Chris holsters the pistol, and he kind of looks at the barrels one more time. You know, one thing that seems to be lacking from your understanding is that what you are, unfortunately, is man-made.
Just kind of laughs.
Chris smiles a bit. You laugh, but you, this stuff, I get the impression this mother of yours is man-made. Just because you weren't around when she was made doesn't change that fact. Now, we may not quite understand each other when it comes to what Animo did and this mother business of yours, but war is something I do understand, and you say this emissary left not long ago?
He did. I'm not sure where. As soon as we sent him and his caravan, we collapsed the mouth of our tunnel. No one else will be getting in so easily. It seems we have another entrance that I thank you for bringing to our attention. We'll make sure to handle that as well.
I'd be cautious about that. Wouldn't want you bringing my home down as well.
We do not harm the mother. We just use her and the gifts she provides. And have no reason to harm your home. I would hope you have no reason to harm mine, whether it may be strange and unusual to you, unfamiliar. It is still the place where my heart resides.
Well, let me just tell you right here what's going to happen if you decide to let all your children wander into that little pool of yours. Not everyone takes to it the way you have, or twins, you called them twins. See, from what I know, there's roughly a 25% chance that whoever it is has a horrible reaction. If they're lucky, they simply die. If not, they become something dark, something sinister. By the sound of it, you got 3 in, okay? The 4th ain't gonna be so pretty. I know you view the mother as your protector, but what you don't understand is that this isn't the mother's blessing. This, what would be a good way to put it? This is basically the key to the front door of mother's home, but you never know who you're gonna find first when you walk in the door. Maybe it's, instead of mommy, you find daddy with a nice leather belt.
He walks back again, frustrated, but trying to keep reason.
I don't know if I need to manipulate or anything, because Chris is trying to convey that this liquid isn't like a direct contact to the mother, it's to the maelstrom, and you don't know what can happen.
Right. I think for him, he's done so many things with the lake. Like what you're saying, some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't exactly. We could definitely try to manipulate. It's just, yeah, I get it. It feels difficult. Like there's a challenge here, because you're telling him that this lake is harmful. That's his main thing. which would definitely be a manipulate roll. So yeah, let's
All right.
let's
It's
do
not,
that.
it's not so much that I'm trying to like lie or anything, but I am trying to get him to realize that this isn't as safe as he seems to think it is.
Right, and this is really, really tough for him because, like, he loves his family, but he loves the mother more.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Right. So, you are, I guess, what is, like, the proof that you're giving beyond just this strange man that just appeared pointing to strange things leaking blue liquid? You obviously have connected on the family. So, like, what is it you're tapping into? Is it that, like, you're no longer talking about the mother, you're just referencing from father to father?
Yeah, there's a bit of that, and he's referenced like a dark emissary and everything. Chris can't be completely sure what that is, but if it is what he fears it is, then he's trying to play off the idea that doing what Princey is about to do risks losing people to this opposition,
Right. Right.
which, you know, in the long run, if he has a quarter of his numbers corrupted into enemies, then he's screwed anyway.
As he finishes getting his furs on, he kind of looks to you and pulls up his hood, covering the eye once more. I understand the words you speak. I must return to my family. I will pray on this. You have provided insight that no others have, and I thank you for it. I will find guidance.
If you are able to find the time, then you think you can meet me back here tomorrow, and I'll show you where I've been and maybe shed some light on this for you.
Yes, give me the day to pray, to dwell on this information, to console my family, to make sure preparations are in order in case the Emperor and his men do return while I am away. How shall I beckon you if I arrive and you are not here?
Chris kind of looks up towards the manhole covers and everything. There should be up this way a ladder. Head up there, and once you're on the surface, you should be fairly easy for me to spot. If I'm not there by sundown, just assume something got to me.
Well, I pray that doesn't happen.
You and me both.
He reaches his hand out to offer to shake your hand. Chris, I can understand that you, like I, come from a strange place, and that things are confusing, as they are for me as well. I appreciate your patience. I understand in challenging situations, many men will falter and simply fall to their base urges. I apologize for forcing that upon you. The mother would not want any mother, he kind of corrects himself, would not wish their children to force any of their kids to play the same game, only to play it if they wish to themselves.
I'm glad it didn't come down to that, because being completely honest, last time they didn't quite work out how I expected, and would have been a shame. Would have been a damn shame.
Like he grips your hand a bit tight, kind of like an understanding of maybe not knowing the situation, but can tell there's maybe a little guilt. And just to say, I understand. And again, you know, he thinks that it didn't come to that. Releases your hand and just begins to make his way down the stream back to the lake. Do you stay there for a while to kind of watch him? Do you...
I kind of watch him go, but once he's out of sight, I start making my way back towards the fort.
Right.
Because, boy, was this a goddamn experience.
Right. So as we see Princey kind of exit, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll catch up with Hilltop, see what's going on up there.
All right.
Alrighty.